Hey guys, I'm Tiffany. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about all the books I read in July. So I've got a few books here that I have read, a few that I didn't finish, and a few that are going to be carryovers to August. The first book I attempted was The Summer I Turned Pretty, which was on my TBR, but I just could not do it. I only got to 15% into the book. The girl, I just couldn't deal with Billy. She was so obnoxious, so bleh. I just couldn't deal with it, so I did have to set it aside. Hey, at least I attempted it, but it just couldn't be done. And I remember enjoying this series. Like, the first book it wasn't like perfect. I didn't have the best time, but I still somewhat enjoyed it. I really thought the second book, It's Not Summer Without You, was really good. I thought it did a good job with grief and everything. I thought it was like much more mature and everything. But the third book, We'll Always Have Summer, that book 100% didn't work for me. But I think just all the books are just not my thing anymore. Oh well, at least I tried. And then the next few books are ones I attempted but didn't complete. And the reason I say this is not a DNF is because for a DNF, like that's 100% is not happening. I'm not going to try it again. But these books, I barely even tried. And I'm sure I'll come back to it, but it just wasn't my thing at the time. The first book I tried was A Psalm for the Wild-Built. This was for the Summer Splash Readathon prompt, easy breezy, read a book under 200 pages. Now Robin from the book Wormhole, she had recommended it to me, but I just could not get into it. Like, I know it says Robot and Monk, you know, on the cover and everything. I just was so confused by what was happening. And sci-fi really isn't my thing. Like, I can deal with sci-fi if it's still dealing with things in our world, but some sci-fi, it's just too much for me, and I don't know. Just, to be fair, I only read a page, but it just was not working for me. I just couldn't do it. The next book I tried was Again, and actually for this one I read one page as well, so it just was not working for me what I was trying to read at this point, I guess, because it was like back to back I was trying these two books. But this book, Again, it was like a second chance romance and everything, but I don't know. I think just at that point I was just not feeling any book, but definitely just this book was not working for me. But who knows, like, maybe you guys will be hearing about these two books, or at least one of the books later on. In a TBR or something in the future. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. The next book I tried was He Must Like You. Now I did read farther than one page this time with one chapter, and I know one chapter still isn't that long, but I definitely want to read this book. It's like this girl, she kind of goes through, you know, some sexual harassment, and no one's really, you know, taking her seriously or anything. And I definitely want to read this book. My problem with it was I was very intrigued by what was happening, or at least somewhat intrigued by what was happening in the first chapter. But then once the chapter ended, it says like, it goes back. It goes back to several, you know, like months ago or something like that. And I'm just like, I don't want to read that. Like, I kind of want to know what's going on right now. But I did go back to the synopsis, and yeah, it just was not working for me at that point, so I had to set it aside, but I do still plan on reading it at some point. Now I'm going to get into the books I actually completed this month. It's not a lot, but I did try really hard to read so many books. It just didn't work out with a lot of them. But anyway, let me get to the first one that I did finish. So the first book is Graceful Burdens by Roxane Gay. So this was a short story, and it was a concept where it's like genetic profiling determines who's going to be a mother and who is not. And so for those that are deemed unfit to be mothers, there's an option, there's like a library, and you can check out a baby for like 2 weeks. But obviously that's, if you really want to be a mother, that doesn't really help you that much. There's more to the story than that, but that's kind of like the basic concept of it. And obviously it's really short, so if you want to read it, you know, if that interests you, you should check it out. I did enjoy it somewhat. I think there were a lot of great messages here, but I feel the story ended way too abruptly. There's so much more that could have been done. The story just feels incomplete. And honestly, I still don't know exactly how I feel about the book. Like, I have this little Excel spreadsheet where I've been putting my books and everything, you know, certain things about it, like the title, the author, the genre, how long it took me to read it and everything. And one thing I have is whether I liked it or I didn't like it. And I still don't know. I feel I'm leaning more towards didn't like it, but there were still good things about it, you know? Like, it wasn't like 100%, oh, I hated this story, but there just wasn't enough. And some of the decisions that were made here, I wouldn't have done if it was my story. I just feel like the story was just too short. You know, it was too short. And the last book I finished was Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. So obviously, Harry Potter, I'm sure we all know what Harry Potter is about. So this was the prompt to read a childhood favorite. I definitely should have picked something else. This just did not work for me at all. Like, it does not hit like it used to. Like, I can't be the only one that felt like a lot of this book was depressing. But I am happy I did watch the movie right after, and it still holds up. But I think a big part, besides, you know, the direction working, the medium working, is the music. Like, the music really hits, and it really creates the magic and everything. I don't know. Maybe I just know too much about Harry Potter for it to work. I don't know. It just did not work for me at all. I am happy, like, near the ending and everything, it got a little bit better, but it just, this was like a very much a mistake to read. I just couldn't do it. And like last year, my plan was to reread the Harry Potter series at some point soon. It's not happening. I just can't do it. I don't know. And so what I mean by like depressing, you know, the whole thing that's happening with, I mean, he lost his family, and then, you know, the family he's stuck with is, you know, they're so awful to him. All the things that happen there. But also, like, even when he's at the school, like, it is kind of like, I don't know, kind of a downer. I don't know. It just did not work for me at all. I don't know why, but it was very much a mistake. So, not going to do that again. And the last book I'm going to be talking about is The Wicked King. So this is going to be a carryover for August because I didn't finish it. But it was enjoyable for a time. I don't know. It's just, books right now, it's really hard for me to read and finish and everything like that. But it is still a book I am working on reading. I got to page like 64. So, you know, obviously it's like 300 something pages. So I still have a ways to go. But it is an enjoyable story. It's just, it didn't captivate me enough, or it just right now, reading a book that's outside my comfort zone, which is fantasy, I just couldn't do it. Hopefully this month, August, I will finish it. And those are all the books I read or attempted in the month of July. As you can see, there were a lot of them I just couldn't do. Now hopefully, I mean, I am still in the middle of a huge reading slump. Hopefully August will be better. But we're gonna have to see. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please be sure to like this video. Please leave a comment, any book you finished in July or any book you're looking forward to reading in August. And share this video with any of your friends. I'd love, you know, more people to be involved and watch this channel. And if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe. You know, it would be really great for my channel. Alright, so that is it. Thank you again for watching. Goodbye!